Black Feniks checking in. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit this morning about a few little different scenarios that happened to me. I like to share the realistic things that happen to us being independent. And one thing I can say, being a black native African American, things will always be a little challenging for us. So just keep that in mind that some people will always try to make you conform to their ideal of what you should do with your life, with your business. And I think it's important that we don't get intimidated by that. If you look at history, um, lies have been told throughout history about our people, about our development, our education, our mindset, our health. So don't get caught up in listening to what outside sources say about what you know about you. So before I get into that, I just wanted to say this. The other day, well, it's actually been a little while ago. I don't know, probably maybe a month or so ago. A gentleman reached out to me from the Georgia area, a white gentleman, and he's a welder. And he reached out to me. Now I take this back. Let's go back a little further than that. It was maybe several months ago because he reached out to me 3 times, and this will be the third time. So that's why I'm bringing this up. So the first time he actually reached out was more like, I like what you're doing. I got he had a website. He wanted to add me on there because I was an independent welder in the Oklahoma City area now, which I was in Phoenix, and he was like having a Rolodex or whatever he was putting together of independent welders or mobile welders or welders and fabricators, you know what I mean? So he wanted to add me to the site. Great idea, you know what I mean? I thought that was cool. So needless to say, they got done. And later, after following me on my Instagram and Facebook, he came to one of my posts and said this statement. It was kind of like this. He was like, I'm paraphrasing this, but I believe the deal is still up because I didn't delete it. He said pretty much like maybe I should only post about welding because I'm HogOn Welding, so maybe I should talk only about welding and not about my culture or about my life or about different things that I face. That's why my page is literally set up as a blog because I wanted to document the process to show the business. I have the website that's strictly about the business, but I also have blogs that talk about my personal experiences, my culture. That's why I created that hashtag welding and hip hop. Hip hop is a black culture, point blank period. Other cultures might have adopted it, use it for financial gain, but it's our culture. You know what I mean? It's what they mocked us from our rhythm at one time, mocking us rhythm and watermelon, you know what I mean? To now making money off of that same concept, so to speak. Think about it. It is what it is, you know what I mean? You just have to be conscious to know what they really doing with the system, you know what I mean? But needless to say, he made that comment and I told him, on my page that this is mine and this is a personal blog, and if you don't like what you're reading or what you're seeing on my blog, you don't have to follow me. Point blank period. End of story, right? And then he made this comment at the beginning of it too, saying, I don't know if I should be saying this. I don't know if I should be saying this. So he knew what he was about to say was some BS, but he was impelled to say it. This is a white man, you know. And it's funny how someone want to tell you how to run your business. You didn't ask them, but they feel like it's a status quo. You got to do it a certain way. But, you know, majority of my drive is independent. Is for the people. Is to build the independent people up. Is to get the people together. You know what I mean? It's to help them build their independence through education, through container conversions, through fabrication, through, you know, installation, mobile welding, whatever, however I can assist. That's my goal. So I'm not looking to please the companies, even though I'm gonna help some major companies and I might represent some because I do use some brand. It is what it is, but I don't go out my way to market something I don't use. If I use it personally, then yeah, I want to invest in it because I, I believe in this. I use this, but I'm not going to be the person that have a commercial about something me personally and I don't do it. You know, certain things you get paid so much. I get it. Certain celebrities you see that promote certain things that they really don't do. But that check was so good, they said, "Yeah, I get on camera and say I used it." I don't want to be the one. I want to be more for the people. I want if I do it, if I mess with it, then yeah, you know, if it's something I genuinely do, but I don't want to, you know, portray my life like that. So I just shared with the gentleman that, hey, this is who I am. So it kind of, you know, went to a cease for a while. Then later, I get another, you know, I could tell he's steady follow me. Every now and then, I'll do a video live. He'll check in and, you know, say, hey, man, that's good work or whatever, you know how. So it's cool with me. You know, I can be cordial, you know what I mean? It's fine. You know, we spoke our piece then and I was cool with it, but I knew then that there's someone that, you know, I wouldn't do business with. I wouldn't network with because there was no reason for you to step out, you know, step into my business lane like that and try to tell me what to do from my outside and you don't even know me publicly without inboxing me. What up, Hog? What up, what up, what up? Good rising, good rising. So, you know, I was like, you know, from the get go, I had felt some type of way. So I'm like, nah, you know, this is not something that I need to, someone I need to do business with, so to speak. And then later, I get another deal saying, hey, here go a link or whatnot. I got a group or something, you know, you should be a part of it. Send it to myself, I appreciate it, this and this. I got it, but I don't want to be a part of it, so I didn't respond to it. You know what I mean? I didn't join it. Left it alone. Now, yesterday, time go by again, you know. Yesterday, I get a response on one of my photos on Instagram saying that you saying that don't nobody want to network with you, so to speak. I'm paraphrasing this, but I sent you a link to network with you and you wouldn't respond to the link. Shaking my head, you know. I'm thinking to myself, like, the audacity of this dude, boy, you know, I don't know. People get their feelings hurt, so they want to act out publicly, you know, throw temper tantrums, you know, act like they in the grade school, you know what I mean? Instead of he could have inboxed me that if he really wanted to network with me, but he wanted to prove a point, he wanted some attention. So I let him know. I said, you know, I didn't want to network with you. That's why I didn't join the group. And I was like, you know, last time I checked, I'm a grown man. I can network with who I please. I appreciate the opportunity, but I'm good. No thanks. You know what I mean? And then I was like, for the record, this is why, because I felt the vibe from the beginning. You just showed me that it only took a time, because you know, I'm gonna tell you something. A snake is gonna be a snake. It's what it is. I don't care what season it is. I don't care if it looks nice and it's freezing about to die and it looks cute. Once it thaw out, it's gonna bite you because it's a snake. That's its nature. Point blank period. And that's what happened. You know what I mean? This dude revealed himself, which I had already felt it. But then he wondered why I'm not messing with him because I already sensed the vibe. You see what I'm saying? I sensed the vibe that he was gonna change it up. You know what I mean? So I'm like, nah, I don't deal with people like that. I can tell. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't survive 10 years of incarceration because I just made it through. Nah, I had to learn how to read people. I had to learn how to move around and listen and watch, listen to character. You know what I mean? See what you're saying. Let me lock this in so I can check y'all out this morning. Yes, yes, yes. That's my goal. My goal is to lead by example. And I know that what I'm doing, you don't see all the time. And I'm knowing that one of the facts that me keeping my culture and me not switching it up makes it a little, I'm not trying to sell out to the system. I'm trying to create a system. And I know that we have to pay Caesar's what is Caesar's. I know you heard that before. So we have to pay our taxes. That's why I teach, we have to start our EINs and our businesses and our LLCs. And it's not complicated, but you do have to learn something. You do have to, change the way you're thinking about some things. But it can be done. So I try to show it from my standpoint to let others know that, hey, you can do it. You know, I just went through some things that made me not want to be a part of the system after I worked for it for so long. You got to think, I did 10 years in prison. I got out. I did 10 years on a job. You know what I mean? So I got 20 years in on that aspect for sure. And I understood the concept of freedom, independence, what it really meant. And I would rather hustle 24/7 than go punch a clock, me personally. I would rather figure it out, come up with a product over talent, come up with a side hustle, develop a product, have a service, than just eat out someone's hand. Me personally, after, now this is only after I have learned how to provide for myself. Let me say that just like that, because every man has to learn how to eat. You got to learn how to hunt. So I don't think you should jump out the window, leave the job until you learn everything you need to learn. That's why I say use the job, use the skills, the technology, the equipment, the time, the the discipline to create your own. And I think my independent raw approach and me being, a black native and the way that I state things, I think it rubs some people feathers wrong because I'm not doing things verbatim by the system. You know what I mean? And I think that causes people to be like, we need to critique him. We need to change the way he do things, so to speak. Like, damn, I can't just be me. Uh, I don't know, man. It's just different than, than I thought, when you're just doing your own thing, because it's like the old saying, you can be laying on the side of the road and the people you would thought that would stop by and check on you, make sure you're all right, they'll walk by and just keep going, act like they didn't see you. And then here comes the good Samaritan, the people that, the person that don't nobody really, look on. He stopped and look on the person who wouldn't have looked on him, made sure he was good, you know. And people have an issue with it once it comes to light, you know. And we can say a lot of things about America, but one thing we know for a fact that racism is real. That it is that the generational wealth that has been created up off of racism in America is real. Like, you can't be naive and say that families' lives hasn't been stabled and maintained off of the oppression of someone else. And in order for America to truly fix that situation, they got to give up something. And so that's why I just say I don't see that happening. So I feel like we just need to build our independence. You know, think about it. I think that we'll get better. We'll get further. Hold up for a second. I messed up my phone. Man, right now, actually, the workload has been a little slow due to where I'm at and then the weather situation. But I have been getting more and more people who have hit me up for container conversions. So I really can see things picking up this year um, as far as the welding and fabrication needs and even mobile welding needs. Like if I wasn't here, man, I'd have so many service calls, opportunity contract jobs out of Phoenix, Arizona, and Nevada. Since I've been here, it's been unreal. Like I have a lot of people have reached out to me. They got a lot of money going on out there for field welding, especially field welding, ironworking, installing. They got a lot of that going on in fabrication, flux core, MIG welding. So I really think as far as people jumping into the field, making money that in that aspect, man, doors are opening up right now. That's why I feel like jumping into the welding field is essential, literally, because you can pick what direction you want to go in. You know, if you want to go in the shop doing some ornamental work or doing some structural fabrication work or doing some pipe and then installing, you know what I mean? Being in the field. Me personally, I like the field. The field pay better, you know what I mean? The field always pay more. Let me fix this. Yeah, the field always pay more, so I like the field. But then again, you know what I mean? To each his own, everybody different, so I'll say, pick what you feel is good for you, you know what I mean? But most definitely, things are really gonna pick up this year because regardless of one thing we know for a fact, as long as you constantly see them working on the highways, on the infrastructure of America, they're gonna always need welding. They're gonna always need skilled tradesmen to build the infrastructure. You know what I mean? But one thing I can say for sure, these shipping container conversions are picking up as far as people really understanding the business side of it, not just the home, not just to live in, but to do business in as well. Is big because you can literally make it movable. You can make it where you can own that LiDAR. You can make it where you can take it to a location and rent out a spot and still be cheaper, even just buying the power or having your own power on off grid. So I think just being flexible with your fabrication this year is going to be a plus, man. Really. But wanted to talk to y'all about that experience with that guy this morning because it's just something that you are facing in the field. You're always going to face someone trying to control or trying to control your narrative, trying to create their own persona of you. You are who you are, so make sure you remember that, you know what I mean? That's why I don't switch it up, regardless of how things is. I feel like, the best thing for me to do is be me because I feel like God only created one me, so as long as I stay in my lane and I be true to me, I think it'll come back like a boomerang. It's designed to do that as long as it's the truth, you know what I mean? Um, but I wanted to start, like I say, when I had a chance just to come to you because I like drinking coffee anyway, you know what I mean? And I'm an early bird, you know what I mean? I get up early, I go to bed early, especially when I don't have a lot on my plate. I try to go to bed early so I can wake up early. I get more done in the early time, you know what I mean? By the time a normal person get up moving around, I've accomplished a lot. And then I'm starting something else by the time they moving around, you know what I mean? So, and then especially being out here anyway, because I don't have a lot of people that I network with on a personal level. Like I don't have any friends, so to speak. I don't do a lot of hanging out, you know what I mean, here. You know what I mean? So it just, I'm working on ideas and working on find ways to expand who I am, help my family, you know what I mean? Just trying to get things better for myself on a personal note, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't had a chance to do a lot, so I'm not really um, enthused or excited about certain things, you know what I mean? Because I didn't live, I didn't get a chance to do some things at a young age that, you know, now I'm chilling, you know what I mean? Um, I remember reading a meme one day that said, you know, the people that got into the streets and they survived in their early ages, like, you know, the teens. He said now they in they, you know, mid 30s and early 40s. He was like, man, they like old man, they chill, they laid back now because they survived. They understand what's on the other side. So, you know, I don't want my spirit to die as far as my my drive to do better, but I'm laid back as far as, you know, I don't have to be in the midst of everything. That ain't my thing. I clubbed so much when I was young, man, I burned myself out. Don't really entertain me. But most definitely, man, my goal this year is to really kick off the HogOn Welding School, like the independence of it, the independent school, because I want to do everything independently where we can be able to still help, you know, a lot of different people, but just on an independent scale. Like, I'm not looking for handouts. You know, I know my people going to help, but we're not looking for handouts from the system. Like, I'm not trying to get uh, loans from the bank. I'm not trying to do none of that. I'm trying to build up my own capital, and that way I can be able to invest in it now. Not saying that you can't use a certain source to um, build up some income. You know, like there's a such thing as good debt and bad debt. You know, so we have to know the difference of that too. You know, so you can be able to use your credit. What I have learned personally as a silent partner to build your business. You know, so if your credit is good and you haven't damaged it, or if you have, work on it, because I had to work on mine. No lie. You know, so I feel like, you know, us educating ourselves, man, on what's going on with the economy, with with money, the value of it. Um, One thing for sure is not going down is goods and services. Check it out. Goods and services, man. That's what America is about. Goods, services. You know, so if you got some products, which is your goods, that can actually help the market, help someone else, and you put it out there right, globally, independently, whatever, and you get a service that you can help, because people, you know, we see more and more people now are more willing to pay you to do certain things that they really don't want to do, or they just don't have time to, or they trying to save money, you know. um, Someone asked me, do I do a lot of commercial work? And I do more residential work than commercial, but since I've been here in the Oklahoma City area, I have done more commercial work. I mean, more residential work, and I did, well, I say both. I say both. It's been like a half and half. But in Phoenix, I did more commercial. One thing about certain homeowners, about certain things that I didn't like about dealing with a lot of them was the always trying to manipulate your price or trying to get you to fit their narrative or why they need this price at this number, you know what I mean? And you thinking like, I got to charge this certain amount because I got so much material, so much into this. So normally when you deal with commercial people, contractors, they understand the full concept. So I had less headaches on that, but then I also had contractors try to get me to, you know what I mean? So I think it's just what it is. I mean, when you swimming in the ocean, you got praise and predators. You're gonna have people trying to eat you, and you're gonna have people you can eat. This is what it is. You know what I mean? You know, you got fish in there. You see that they chill, and you know, it's just like the chain of command, man. You just got to be safe. So you know, I think that being independent is most definitely a awareness. You got to be aware of your surroundings. Don't be naive. You know, understand what's really going on out here. But I just wanted to come to y'all, man, this morning, just talk, have a little coffee with you, man. I was just thinking, it's cold outside this morning, the Arctic blast, pretty much. It didn't got colder than it's been in a while here, anyway. So I've been thinking about that, just how things switch up, and it would do this my first season in this area. You know what I mean? It's been real. This is some crazy weather here in Oklahoma City. I couldn't explain it to you until I actually came here. It's real wishy-washy, you know. And probably now that I understand it more now, where it's located at, it got the winds coming from Texas, so you got the heat coming from Texas, and then you got the cool coming from Denver, and they tend to mix up, and that's what the tornadoes or whatever can be formed, and the the swift change of the weather. You know what I mean? It's different. You know what I mean? But I really feel that this year, man, is going to be good for people who really think about products. Think about that, man. Think about products, and not just the ones that you can create. Think of ones, because we got bills to pay. Think of some needed products that you could also sell in your business, or you can buy stock in to help you, because we have to make ends meet. Even while we building business, you have to take care of your personal. I remember reading a lot of stories of different entrepreneurs who have started business. They've got a shop or a store that they literally lived in while they did they store stuff, because they couldn't afford to have a home and a store. But their dream was to be independent, and they had to pick. So they're like, well, we're going to have to be uncomfortable for now, but this is only going to be for a season. And now they living good, but they had to make some sacrifices. You know what I mean? So I believe coming here to Oklahoma City, I had to make a big sacrifice with a few different things, and having the opportunity to build my shipping container conversion was a blessing to me, because I got a chance to not only do it, but I got a chance to show my community, the internet, the world, how I did it from an independent standpoint, and I did it independently. And you can go back in the archives and watch how I did it. So for someone like me to do that and actually make it come to pass, speaking it into existence, man, I think that alone is going to echo. It's going to echo for eternity, in my opinion. I feel like that was part of my pyramid that God witnessed me doing it. So if I can do it, I can multiply it. I can do it again. I can teach it. You know what I mean? Uh, I can direct from it. I can give consultations on it because I was involved in it. So my goal is to just stay involved and, figure out ways to not be fully tied into the system, but to do what I enjoy doing. You know, like I said earlier, hip hop is our culture. I enjoy hip hop. I'm an artist, and um, I'm a fabricator. I'm a welder. I don't want to just be known for one thing. Me personally, I want to be known for someone who pushed his life to its fully potential. You know, what I enjoy doing is the things that I want to sample and do, because that's me. So that was a big reason I formed that hashtag welding and hip hop, was to also gravitate to my younger generation, to help them find ownership and make money, and to still finance and encourage what they do. You know what I mean? And then it's not saying that you ever too old to do it, because it's our culture. We just do it different. Every age got their own swag on, how they do their thing. So I just feel like me bringing it to the table, showing them how they can actually gain some ownership, actually get a job with a stable trade, or get a career and not just a job. I'm gonna say it like that, or they can at least get some money up to invest in something else. You know what I mean? So I think it's important that someone see me do it. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always out there hands on. You know what I mean? Just want to say good rising, everybody. Good rising. I know it's early, probably getting up, getting ready to start your day. Like I say, I'm just uh, thinking about just life, man. Just the decisions we have to make, and the people you meet, and just part of business. You know what I mean? The stuff that you just have to go through, you just have to endure. You know what I mean? But one thing I can say for sure, you have to stay at it. And once you put that time in, it's valuable once you plant that seed, because you don't really fully see, because certain things that's taking place in my life now, I don't, I couldn't fully see that happening, you know, but now I understand why it happened, because I had to put the time in. I endured certain situations. I learned certain things. I maintained. Um, I stuck to my word even when I wanted to change my word. And I like, man, I shouldn't do this, but I'd already put my word on it, so to help someone. So that's why I say that I feel we have to swear to our own hurt and change, not being a man. You know, once you commit to it, just go through with it. Um, unless it's something that, like I say, situations where you can't offend it. So, life happens. Sometimes you say, hey, can't do this. Life just happened, and life happens. And that's one thing I like about being independent, is that you don't have to go into no fully deep explanation when you got to switch something up. It got to be done point blank. I'm gonna fill you in once we finish doing whatever. But it's like hearing people get in certain situations and have to call their jobs and lie. Like they know they got to lie just to keep it, or man, they gonna give me all this slack. I got to come up. That's one thing that I done with that. Even that feeling. You know what I mean? So I just enjoy being independent, man. I don't owe nobody nothing, but I feel like I owe myself something to get up and get out on it. You know what I mean? So I want to provide and help the people. You know what I mean? I feel like my biggest objective you know, is to be a pillar or some information or source where, where even now or later, my people can go to and say, hey, I can get some food from this brother. I got some information that can take me over the hump. You know what I mean? That's my goal. That's why I do this, you know, and that's why I keep it organic and, not try to water it down, man. It is what it is with me. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just be me. You know what I mean? And I think you should do the same. You know what I mean? Because you only live once. So, be wise. You don't want to be naive. We can learn a lot from someone else. For those who are my age, you remember those commercials? You used to say you can learn a lot from a dummy, and they had the dummy crashing all the time. Um, in life, I realized how important and real that was. You know what I mean? You can learn a lot, from your own dummy moves and from other ones. You know what I mean? But I will say this: building your independence this year is where it's at. You have to start in some form. If it's starting a trade, to go on and get the job, to start doing it, to make the first investment, to go on and buckle down and get your first consultation for whatever business you're trying to start, whatever it is, man. Like I think with the way things are going down, man, we got to build our team and we got to keep it solid because we're gonna be all we got. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to deal with people you can depend on. You're gonna have to be a dependable brand, dependable service. You know, you're gonna have to be able to be tested because we have seen companies that went out of business last year and coming into this year that we would have never thought would have went out of business. You know, so don't get caught up. I want to say this: don't get caught up with just doing things just like the system, verbatim, so to speak. You know how we was always taught to do certain things. Oh, you got to do it like this. Oh, you got to do it like that. I think you should open up your doors of your horizon and think bigger. You know what I mean? And you know that's why I say personally, I get the concept of owning how you make your money and renting where you lay your head. Even though you hear realtors now still trying to get you to rent. I mean, not to rent, but to buy. And you think, and they give you different reasons. The payment is cheaper, get more flexibility. You truly got ownership, but you really don't. You just responsible for someone else's stuff while you paying it off. And if it's a long stretch, you're gonna pay more than the person that's renting without the headache. You know, at least if a person renting for a year or two, they can decide somewhere else to go. But some people feel like they need that stability, you know. And even then, you know, they got a certain place you can just rent forever. Versus then getting caught up and having to own something and something hit the fan, you got to stay there. You got to keep it, you know, or it takes you down. You know what I mean? So I just think it's just wiser now for us to own how we make our money. Rent everything else, man. All this material stuff, man, this, you know, this is nothing. But the truth of the matter is, we got to pay Caesar what is Caesar. So I would rather work for myself and network how I can help the system than just fully be a part of it. And that's why I stress independence, man. You know, that's why I'm an independent welder, independent contractor, independent everything. You know what I mean? Independent artist. I want to be independent in a way where I control what I do, but I want to move like a corporation. And I think that's wise that we do the transitional stages because you don't want to stay one way, you know, forever. You want to go through those seasons. But my goal is to be independent, but to hit hard and to move and be set up like a corporation, you know? So they went from working to 10-9 to LLC to corporation. That's my goal, you know? So I feel like we shouldn't think one dimensional, but there's so much we can do, you know, so much you can do. So if you got a good idea, I would say this: there's so many different sites. You know, I ain't even got to name them just to give them any props, but then you got so many bookmark domain domain sites where you can go on and get your website for like $10, $15. So if you got a great idea, go on and do that. Do something small like go on and create a free Gmail or Yahoo or whatever you use with that title to get some awareness. There's just some simple free things you do. Go on and start a free simple page, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, on what you're doing. You ain't even got to do nothing yet. Just lock it in to get the awareness of it. But you're gonna have to go on and make a move this year. We got to do something. We just can't sit here and just um, think all these things just gonna fall in our lap. You know what I mean? So just form some initiative on what you really want to do. and just make it happen this year. I mean, no matter what it is. If you got to go to bed early, if you got to get up, you know what I mean, if you got to stay up late. But we got to take some initiative. I read a statement that Ice-T said. He said, one way to get on your feet is to get off your ass. Stand up. You know, it can be simple as that, literally. Once you put forth some effort, things gonna happen, man. Things gonna happen good for you. Just got to stay at it, you know. But like the old saying is, if it was easy, everybody be doing it. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna let y'all go, man. Like I say, I just wanted to come have some coffee with you, talk to you about, you know, just miscellaneous things that's happening in my life, you know. But you know, I honestly see that doors are opening, you know. But you are going to get to those moments, remember this, where you're just going to have to stand, where, you know, you can't really do too much, but just stand on what you believe in. You're like, man, I can't make no move, just stand. It's going to be all right, because sometimes you might get limited on your funds. Money get tight. You might get limited on what you can do physically. You know what I mean? So just do what you can do. And after you have done your all, like the scriptures say, stand. Y'all be blessed. Be safe today. Hold on.